Hi, and welcome back to Not So Radical. I'm your host, Peter, and today we're talking about the end of women's sports, possibly. Now, I know it's a bit of a touchy subject, but we're going to start off with this video here.
Of President Biden's first executive orders was to allow transgender athletes to participate in girls' sports. Quoting his order, children should be able to learn without worrying about whether they will be denied access to the restroom, the locker room, or school sports.
Before we move on from this part, I just want to point out that yes, it is true. No child should have to worry about that kind of situation. They should never have to worry about it ever. But with such a wide spectrum of people you're trying to please, it's tricky, it's hard, it's difficult. And I mean, I wish them the best of luck with it, but we're going to continue with the video for now.
So let's talk about the real-world impact of this action with a track athlete from Danbury, Connecticut, Alana Smith, and Alliance Defending Freedom Legal Counsel, Christiana Holcomb. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you for having us.
I'm going to start by playing something that your mom, Alana, said about you going into competition under these circumstances. Here's what she said.
Alana and I were talking about what her strategy was going to be for the day, and she looked at me and said, "Mom, it really doesn't matter because I'm running against the boys today. I won't win."
I would just like to point out how discouraging that must be to enter a race that you know more than likely you're going to lose. I believe we've all encountered that situation at least once or twice in our life where we have a friend that's just way better at us than a certain video game, a board game, a sport, whatever the game is, but we already know that more than likely we're going to lose. But let's continue from there.
So, Alana, what kind of position does this put you in as a biologically born female athlete?
It's really disappointing because I know that me and all the other biological females work really hard at track practice, and we work hours a day just to shave off tenths of a second for our times, and it's just really disappointing to know who's going to win the race before it even starts.
Now imagine spending hours and hours out of your day trying to better your times by just tenths of a second for it all to be possibly undermined by a biological male that may have certain advantages over you. Now I say that because I have another article here. There's more than a couple instances. I mean, for instance, we have Laurel Hubbard. She won a female weightlifting competition and beat her female rivals by more than 45 pounds. Another cyclist won her Tour de Tuscan. We have an MMA fighter that gave his female opponent a serious concussion, broke her eye socket. That doesn't sound too great. We have Lana Lullis, World Long Drive Championship. I mean, there's more than a few instances. Now, I say this because I've looked up a few studies now. So this article is from Breitbart. There was a study done in Sweden by two medical universities. One of the studies, they found after a 1-year study, the hormone therapy treatments for trans women, that they still have a larger muscle mass and certain strength advantages over their cis women counterparts. Now, to me, that doesn't sound fair. They even did a study where trans women actually have advantages over trans men that are taking testosterone supplements, which in itself, I mean, they still have advantages. I mean, so as of right now, I don't agree with trans women being in female sports, but I mean, that's just me. If you guys can show me studies that show different, I mean, I would love to see them. I'd love to read through them. Or if you think differently and think they should, I mean, hey, we're all entitled to our own opinions. I might put a poll at the end of this if you want, and for everybody to vote and kind of see where everybody's at and how everybody feels about this. But for now, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Not So Radical. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what kind of content you guys want to see or what you want me to talk about, address, whether it's political. I mean, I'll address whatever, I'll talk about whatever. But thank you, and you guys have a nice week.